Yo! Video games.
What up, dudes? It's Matt here from YoVideogames. Well, it's been a long day for me. Haven't been home as much, so I really wanted to make this video when I saw some of the news that came up today, but I just had no time, have been gone all day, but I'm finally back now, and, fuck the script. I'm just going to talk totally off the cuff. This is going to be just completely my thoughts, so if I say a lot of words or repeat a lot of shit, just bear with me here. So, this morning, I wake up and I read that Yooka-Laylee's got a new trailer. Well, that's pretty nice. And I watch it and, hey, it seems like Yooka-Laylee's stealing from Shannick and we got a Casino Night Zone level. That's fine, that's cool. Actually, didn't see any of that in Banjo-Kazooie or Banjo-Tooie. So, I'm okay, I'm digging it a little bit. And then I get to the end of the trailer and I notice it says Xbone and PS4 and Steam or whatever. No Wii U trailer, and I'm like, that's kind of fucking odd. So I dig into it, I look into it, because information at first was a little bit like, oh, well, like, they're possibly only coming to the Switch. Well, okay. And then I finally read it, go look at my updates, and the Wii U version of Yooka-Laylee is canceled. Now, for me, this wasn't that big of a heartbreak, but I thought, boy, this is gonna be a shitstorm, because, frankly, this game's whole Kickstarter was basically funded on the backs of nostalgia for N64 games, backed by Nintendo fans primarily, and as Playtonic has said, it was mostly for Wii U. Wii U was the dominant option in the survey when they finished their Kickstarter. So I was like, man, this one's really gonna fucking hurt, because this game was primarily like made with the Wii U in mind, or at least that was the idea. They said the lead platform was Wii U/PC, and that Team 17 was going to do ports for PS4 and Xbone. And here we go, Wii U version's canceled. So that really could sting on one hand. On the other hand, they had this very carefully worded considering bringing to the Switch, working with Nintendo to see if we can... They're bringing it to the fucking Switch. Nintendo just doesn't want anyone to fucking say that it's coming to the Switch, because they haven't done their Nintendo Switch press conference, which got an official time today, January 12th, 8 o'clock on the best coast, 11 o'clock on the least coast, and some other times and dates if you unfortunately live in other parts of the world. But yeah, so we got a date, and obviously Nintendo doesn't want people really to be talking about Switch versions of games. In fact, I even know about another title that's not officially announced. It's also going to be on Switch as well, come that day. And the only reason I'm even pointing this out is that if you look around the internet, you can find out, about it and stuff. But yeah, it's one of those things where okay, that's good. It's coming to the Switch, but understandably so. This is a new system. Like, Wii U owners have to buy. They're assuming Wii U owners are going to buy the Switch, so you can see where there'd be some sort of anger, but I think the anger is unfounded, and here's why I think the anger is unfounded, unreasonable. The Wii U is a dead system. Now, I'm not going to say that that's the best excuse for not finishing your Kickstarter goal, which was promised for the Wii U primarily, but it's a dead fucking system. It's been dead for like over a year, and that's just fucking facts. I love the Wii U, and don't get me wrong, I bought the Wii U day one. I bought a Japanese Wii U later on, so I could play import games that either didn't come out here or were coming out here way fucking later, because Nintendo fucking sucks at being a global company. But the fact of the matter is, it didn't sell. It's not a great financial success. So it makes sense in a way that, why keep working on a system that's completely fucking dead and has been fucking dead by its own manufacturer for some time. But that's I think missing the point. The point is, Yooka-Laylee is using the Unity engine, which honestly by most accounts is kind of a piece of crap freeware engine. Playtonic does seem to be making the thing work and good for them, and then I can't help but wonder if Unity was chosen early on so they could make it run on the Wii U. But fact of the matter is, whether they chose the Unity engine because it was a better suited engine for the Wii U, or they chose the Unity engine because it was freemium or had better how do I say this? Better paying options. Because like say when you license the Unreal 4 engine, there's different ways to license the Unreal 4, and a lot of the ways when you do borrow a license for the Unreal 4, you have to pay a fee to use it, or you have to agree to let a section of your proceeds of a game's sales go to the manufacturers of Unreal or makers of Unreal 4, so Epic, I believe. So I can see why there might have been some hesitation or problems. Maybe they didn't want to have to give away much of their sales to Epic or whatever. That's kind of here and there. I think the real thing here is that we've seen what the game looks like in motion. We've seen it mostly running on PC. We have seen it run on PS4 at the PSX event, which I don't think it ran as well on PS4 personally as it did on the PC. But they also announced today that the Toy Box demo is coming to Xbone and PS4, and I think it's already available, so you can check it out. It plays well, but again, it's just a big debug level. Or if you were Nintendo nowadays making a Mario game, it's a full, complete level. But I think the fact of the matter is that the Wii U is a last-gen system, and it can't handle running Yooka-Laylee as the way they intend to run Yooka-Laylee. And you can see from the Tribal Stack Towers level, I don't know if I got that name wrong, maybe I did, that it's actually a pretty big level. It's got a lot of verticality to it. And the other feature of the game is that instead of using the pages to unlock new worlds, you could also use the pages to expand the worlds that you're in as well, making them even bigger and larger with more things to do. And I think the fact of the matter is the Wii U just probably couldn't handle it. The only thing Playtonic is saying is technical problems or limitations, whatever they fucking said. Technical issues make it impossible. And I'll bet the technical issue is that it doesn't fucking run. Or if it does, it runs at like 15 frames a second. Probably N64 frame rates are worse, and it's not acceptable, and I agree with that, frankly. I want the game to be the best it can be. Now, this is, again, a small developer. They don't have the fucking time like Rare did, and the money, and the backing, and the support to just constantly delay this game for fucking ever and ever, and work and tweak on it until the end of time. They have to finish the fucking game. They got a lot of money from the Kickstarter, but at the end of the day, they're still, they have to make the game, and they have to get the game out before all that money runs out, because feeding a staff and making sure that they have a job and are able to come into work and do something, that won't go on forever. 2 million British pounds is not going to last you years and years and years and years. So they have to get the game done, and they have to release it, and they have to start selling it for people who didn't kickstart it, so they can actually make some money, so they can actually start work on their next game after this, or the DLC, which they again promised would not be started until the game was finished and done. So, all that being said, I'm fairly confident that what really went on here was the Wii U just couldn't handle the fucking game. And they said they tried to work every possible angle, which in my mind means they probably tried splitting the game up into zones or something like that, or maybe they just encountered just too many instances where the engine just crashed the game or just chugged to an unacceptable frame rate. And why would you, even if you are a big Nintendo fan, I'm a big Wii U owner, maybe I only own a Wii U, and you get the game and it runs like fucking crap, or it crashes a lot, or whatever. Are you still going to be happy and satisfied knowing that the PC and PS4 and Xbox versions are going to run better versions of this fucking game, even if you still got the Wii U version? I don't think that's a very fair compromise. So what Playtonic's done, he's saying you can switch to another version. In their details will be next month, or you could get a refund if you want. They actually did offer a full refund. They're not mighty number 9ing this fucker. I think that's as much as anyone can fucking do. The game doesn't work on the Wii U, and the reason for that is it's an old-ass fucking system with dated-ass fucking technology, and it's not running the game the way that they are satisfied with running. So I think the better option here, like they said, they want to make it up to Nintendo fans, and they're going to talk about it more, obviously, at the Nintendo Switch press conference, or sometime shortly thereafter. So they're obviously going to be running the Switch. Now, here's the thing where I think it gets a little dicey, and I can't talk about this too much because, again, I'm not really supposed to be saying some of this shit, but let me put it to you this way. I've heard from multiple sources about what's under the hood of a Switch, and here's the thing. The Switch is not a powerful system. The Switch is not close to or better than or par with a Xbone or a PS4. It is not really even close. There are games out now that have been out for months on the PS4 that would not work or run on the Switch ever. And they're not even the most graphically intensive games either. So I apologize for being intentionally vague about this, but you're just gonna have to fucking bear with me on this one. People need to be aware that the Switch is not a powerful system, and it is not on par with vanilla versions of Xbox One or PS4. You can look at the leaked specs that have been out there that, from my understanding, pretty close to, if not 100% accurate. The thing is about half the power of a PS4. So it's exactly in the middle from the power of a Wii U to the power of a PS4, a vanilla PS4. The Switch sits squarely in the middle of that. So you have something that is roughly half the CPU and RAM and everything else of a PS4, which means that unless a game is only using half of the fucking horsepower on a PS4, it's not going to run on the Switch. So you're going to see two things on the Switch, and you can mark my words, I'm sure I'm going to get flamed for this because some people seem to think that, no, like, regardless of what's really under there, the fact that it's coming out in 2017 means it's a brand new fucking system. It's going to be very powerful. No, it fucking does not. The Switch is going to get two things. It is going to get massively downgraded ports of PS4 and Xbox One games that they can somehow manage to make fit and run on the system. And the more likely thing is you're just not going to see it all. That's number two. So I guess the second thing is not seeing anything at all. So whatever. Toss up there. But you're going to see the Switch is going to be basically a new 3DS. It'll have some support. It'll have a lot of indie support naturally. But you're going to see a lot of games and the game library follow the trend of the 3DS, where here's this amazing first-party Nintendo content. Here's maybe some games Nintendo paid to have made for their system. Here's a lot of indieware stuff. You are not going to see much in the way of big third-party titles. I think 2017 we will see some feeble meek attempts. And when I say feeble meek attempts, I mean Skyrim, a game that's 5 years old that got a graphical update this year on current gen, and then they ported it to the Switch. But I guarantee you that Skyrim will have downgrades from the updated version on PS4 to run on the Switch. But hey, it works on the go. And really addressing the other issue is that the Switch is not going to be advanced fucking hardware just because it's fucking coming out in 2017. That doesn't mean shit. I mean, you could say, well, if you think it's going to be based on some magical like X2 Tegra processor or whatever, it doesn't. A, it's not, and B, that's just wishful fucking thinking. This thing is not going to cost a lot from everything we've seen from retailers, from rumors. And it's fucking thin as shit, as if you've seen on Jimmy Fallon, you know, and all of the other dev rumors and stuff from dev kits has pretty much shown it's not a powerhouse. It's a powerhouse for a portable, so that's great. And it's, you know, it's got a lot of neat little things, but at the end of the day, if you can't run most games, most big retail games from PS4, Xbox One on the Switch now, you're not going to see them later. People are not going to massively downgrade their games that they have coming out for the Pro and the Scorpio and make it run on the Switch. Because the thing is, it's going to be way, 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 way harder for a game publisher or developer to make a downgraded version for the Switch as opposed to making a downgraded version for vanilla PS4 and vanilla Xbox One. What I mean is, games in the future are probably going to be made with PS4 Pro and Xbox Scorpio in mind. They'll be made with that mindset, and then they'll just be made sure that they function at all on vanilla hardware. Well, that's a small incremental upgrade. Scorpio might be a little bit bigger, but the downgrade from PS4 Pro to PS4 is nowhere close to the huge leap of downgrade it will be from PS4 to Switch. And I hate being the bearer of bad news, and I know, I get it. People are going to be fucking pissed about it, but at the end of the day, reality is what it is and what it's going to be. But that doesn't mean that the Switch is going to be a flop. It just means that you're not going to see third-party support on it. We're not going to get Red Dead Redemption 2. We're not going to get some of the other bigger third-party games on it. You're not going to get 15. You're not going to get Final Fantasy VII Remake on it. There's probably a lot of things you're not going to get on it. It's going to be another Nintendo console. It'll be nearly a generation behind the curve. It'll get middling to no third-party support. And it'll play some of the best fucking games ever made because of Nintendo first parties. And that's just sort of the unfortunate reality of the system. But hey, fuck it. You know, I'm still buying one. I'm still going to get one day one. It's going to have a brand new version of Smash Brothers on it. You know, obviously we're talking about like a port of Smash Brothers 4, but a port that's probably going to look better, run better, and probably most likely have returning characters that weren't in Part 4. They're probably going to have more stages from the portable and the Wii U version, and they're probably going to be, who knows what else they're going to add. And you know what? It's going to be great. It's going to have great fucking games. And it's going to have great brand new games. And really, that's more than enough to drop $250 on. So if it sounds like I'm down on the Switch, I'm not. I'm just trying to help everyone here curb your enthusiasm and bring you to reality here that the Switch is not going to be on par with PS4, and it's not really going to be close either. It's going to be way behind it, and it's not going to get much third-party support, but it will get the best fucking first-party games ever, as per usual for any Nintendo system. So that's all I really got to say on that. I'm totally with Platonic on the decision to move Yooka-Laylee to the Switch and cancel the Wii U version. I want to be the best it can be. As for Bloodstained, that game's not coming out on Wii U any longer. Unless Armature Studios is really working on some massively downgraded or just different version for the Vita and Wii U still. I find that hard to believe. With a game coming out in 2018, it's... Fuck it, just put it on the fucking Switch. Just put it on the fucking Switch. That game had way less support going in for Wii U, because Wii U was like a very late stretch goal, so Bloodstained ain't coming out on the fucking Wii U. It just isn't. And you know what? It's fine that it doesn't, because it looks great, and I don't want it to be a half-assed running version on the Switch. I'm sorry, on the Wii U instead of putting it on the Switch, which will probably give it way more juice compared to the Wii U. It won't be as good as a PS4 probably, but meh, fuck it. It's great that that game can exist at all. So for those of you who are upset about Yooka-Laylee, I say, you know what, be reasonable here. You don't want a shitty version of a game, or a game that just doesn't run well at all. You want the game the best it can be. We're gonna get it on a Nintendo console, but it's just not the Nintendo console we all thought it was gonna be. But nobody's backstabbing you. Just let that part go. If you want a refund, get a refund. No one's taking your money. You're not being ripped off or backstabbed if they're willing to give you your money back because they can't deliver on the Wii U, because the Wii U is just an old ass fucking system. So that's all I gotta say on that. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you on the channel. Later, dudes.